where do I see Gargano and
Balor going? Yeah.
Balor going? As a side distraction feud, so Champa can go after Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or what I think would be really cool. I know we have factions. We have 2 factions in NXT UK. Hit the fucking record button.
It already is.
We're recording.
Okay.
You know us by now.
Yeah.
We film fucking everything now.
Jerry, while you were gone, Jerry was like, "Why are you recording?" I was like, "Dude, you never know when another Meatloaf moment might happen."
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so this is me smoking, by the way. If you guys are watching this, I don't smoke on camera, but so I see. So we have 2 factions in NXT UK, and we have the Undisputed Era in NXT. And I know we're kind of doing a little cross promotion with this whole Imperium deal. What if Balor built Balor Club in NXT?
I can see that.
I would rather see Balor join the Undisputed Era because we're on the cusp of possibly having Dragunov join Imperium, and that would level it 5-on-5. And maybe that ends up being 5-on-5 at War Games. Instead of a traditional 4-on-4, make it a 5-on-5. Start the match with 2 members of each team, and then every 3 minutes, or every 2 or 3 minutes, have one member of,
Each team.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that happening. It'd be really cool, but honestly, to answer the question with Gargano and Balor, I see a series of matches. Like a 3 series of matches as a distraction type deal for Champa to swoop in, and then down the line we see Balor versus Champa, because Champa thinks it's his NXT still. Balor knew that, when he left, that was his place. That was his, I don't want to say kingdom, but,
Yeah.
that was his, his deal. That was his Pride Rock and shit. You know what I mean? We're gonna make a little Lion King reference, but yeah, I mean, honestly, that's where I see it. I don't see him joining Undisputed Era right off the rip, if at all. I really don't. But I do have to say that was the most beautiful Pele kick.
Yeah,
it was more of an overhead kick, but yeah.
Still, it was fucking flawless. Flawless.
There's
I can barely even stand sometimes trying to take my jacket off. I can't imagine trying to take my jacket off and flipping backwards at the same time. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, I've done that before, but I slipped on ice.
I was a little drunk. So. But no, I really see Gargano and Balor just feuding with each other, and maybe down the line doing a number 1 contenders match. But honestly, I see them just doing a side feud for Ciampa to try to get Goldie back.
You think Ciampa gets Goldie back?
No, not right off the rip. I feel if they're going to do this Undisputed Era with all the championships deal, they need to do it for a little while.
I don't think you need to.
No?
By the time we would actually see the championship match between Cole and Ciampa, I think that's a decent amount of time. It happened, and my thing is, when you do that, you're doing it at the expense of 3 titles that could be, being vied for outside of whatever feud Undisputed Era is in at the time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times where the only person in Undisputed Era you're going to see in a given show is, let's say, a singles wrestler, either Adam Cole or Roderick Strong, as it's been the last few weeks. It's always been something with Roderick Strong, or you see Red Dragon. Anytime you have one match on the show with one of the, it's likely that you're not going to see any of the rest of them outside of that match. So you have taken all of the men's gold in NXT and you've basically stuck them in whatever storyline they're in that night.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
And so it happened, and it's going to be of effect for several months before we actually see Ciampa versus Cole. I think it's fine. And honestly, I cannot see, unless there's some screwy fucking screw job and there's an immediate rematch at the next whatever event, you do not let Champa lose that match.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I think that's where the Undisputed Era screwed up too, was attacking Keith Lee after the match. Because now he's going to be after them as well, and that's going to set up hopefully for, Lee and Dijakovic. Like, he'll probably approach Dijakovic, or Regal will have the idea. Kind of like Foley put together the bar, like after their 7-match series that they had. Like, you guys tore the roof off the place. Imagine how great you can be together, and they went on to get the tag belts. I think that's going to be a situation that because at this point, we're almost at the 7-match mark between Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic.
Okay, so we were going to save the joke for what's NXT next week, but we might as well. So you've got both with a win, both with a loss going into this.
Yeah.
Both with a double count out, and both with a, what was it, where the ref throughout the match, what did they call it? A
no contest?
Yes, both with a no contest. So they went into the triple threat match 1-1 and 1-1.
Yeah.
Now they both got a loss together. So they each get one in that column. So now you are down to 1-2 and 1-1. And that means 1 + 2 + 1 + 1. 1 + 2 + 1 + 1. If you don't get the joke, I apologize. I would give you a clue, but that might not help.
Ha. But I think that'd be kind of appropriate, especially if you're going to take the belt off Champa, just have the whole group kind of crumble. Maybe even have Roderick Strong still keep his title, but have have Red Dragon lose theirs and Adam Cole lose his. And then just the only person that's got a belt left in the Undisputed Era was the last person to even join, and that's Roderick. So.
And plus, Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee have already debuted their tag team finisher.
Yeah.
The Feast Your Eyes into the Pounce. That was beautiful. If they do it in the ring and angle it just right so the pounce goes into the turnbuckle, boom.
Oh,
that's it.
I see Kyle O'Reilly just flying.
or do the pounce into the ropes and then on the comeback hit the what does Keith Lee call his finisher?
The Big Bang Catastrophe or something, because Big Black Cock is what it is. It's BBC. So
I know I've got it written down in my notes somewhere, but he's got a name for it. But it's a fireman's carry. No, not a fire. Yeah, it's a fireman's carry into a Goldberg's jackhammer.
Yeah,
he could pick him right up into that.
Mm-hmm.
Off of the pounce into the ropes.
That'd be really neat. That'd be really cool.
I'm trying to think of a move that Dominic Dijakovic could do into the person before the whatever the fuck Keith Lee calls it. You have it in your notes. It's way back here, and I'd never be able to find it. I write so tidy.
That kick of his, the
but that levels him. Then you'd have to pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he did the discus kick and somehow they came off the ropes again.
If he does it to him in the corner and they kind of stumble out of the corner, that probably kind of work.
So like a discus, not grit your teeth. That's the drop kick. What does Sami Zayn call it? Haluva kick. A discus haluva kick.
Yeah.
Man, that would be the ultimate finish. Like 2 finishers and 2 signatures sandwich.
Yep.
The signatures are the meat and the veg. And the finishers are the bread, literally. It's crazy.
That'd be awesome though, because like we'll walk into like that takeover, or maybe if it's just a series of television programs, And you think that all of them are going to lose the gold, or all of them are going to retain it, because maybe Roderick Strong keeps the belt on one of the first matches, but then Red Dragon drops the titles and the tag belts, and then Champa beats Adam Cole to main event for the gold. So, or even in that situation, I'm not sure if Champa versus Adam Cole would be the main event. Would it be Balor versus Gargano? Or how would you stack that card?
I would have to put the title as the main event.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I would, because I hate when the title is not the main event. It's supposed to be the most important thing, right?
Well,
I hate when it's not the main event. I hate when they do that shit all the time.
That was a huge grievance Punk had at one point, because he was world champion and he didn't even get to main event at WrestleMania because Dwayne was going against, I think it was
John Cena.
John Cena at that point. Or was it Hogan? I think it was Hogan that year. But I think it was Rock versus Hogan. But either way, his match got bumped down out of the main event in favor of The Rock's, and he was super bitter about that. I don't blame him, because you grow up thinking it's okay, I'm the champion, I'm the big deal, I'm gonna be the main event.
Well, and here, just then back to the NXT title match thing, talking about the whole Balor and Gargano thing. If somehow Gargano won a number one contenders match, it would have to be against Champa, because how many times have we seen Cole versus Gargano already?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen Gargano versus Champa?
True. But in most recent memory, what have we gotten more of? So I'm saying for Gargano to be able to win and to make sense, the title needs to change hands.
Yeah.
But Balor versus Champa or Balor versus Cole would be amazing. Either way you put it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, since they just turned Finn Balor heel, by the way, you want some Laffy Taffy? I got strawberry and banana, man.
Awesome.
Laffy Taffies?
Mm-hmm. Yep. My mom had a big old tub of all the flavors, and I'd sift through to get the strawberry separated from the cherry. Yeah, sorry.
No, I just feel that right now the only combination to do that we have not seen is
Balor Champa,
or Balor Cole.
I wouldn't put this somewhere down the line, especially if Balor is staying down in NXT. It wouldn't shock me at some point if AJ goes face up in the main roster, and that kind of forces Anderson and Gallows to head back down to NXT and rejoin Balor, and they pretty much formed the Balor Club.
When's AJ's contract up? Because I know he signed one a while ago, but this is his last one, and I know recently, this year, Anderson and Gallows signed another 5 years.
Yeah.
So, could you see if Balor makes his return to the main roster, could you see him jumping AJ and taking his spot with Anderson and Gallows on Raw, sending AJ off to the sunset?
Well, I was about to say, that's how you joined the Bullet Club. It's like a reversal of that. Because Balor was Finn Balor, or, Prince Devitt at that point. Him and... Yeah, that only makes all the sense in the world.
I would rather see Finn Balor stay in NXT for a while. Because I feel like he's got the contract that he's got, and him moving to NXT isn't necessarily going to affect him financially.
I think he's going to get better work out of his stuff in NXT anyway, and it's going to take a little bit of sting off the whole.
And as I was saying, now that they have turned Finn Balor heel, yeah, as I was saying before, I realized how unprofessional it would be to try and talk while chewing taffy. Finn Balor's heel, so if he's going to go for the title, it needs to be against a babyface, and that's why I say Champa beats Cole, and then we see Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa in the main event of an NXT TakeOver. And that will probably be candidate, if not match of the year. Probably. Because if anything beats Ciampa versus Gargano, it's going to be Ciampa versus Finn Balor. Who, by the way, we got to see on the street in Toronto, Canada.
We'll never stop mentioning this ever.
And get a picture with him. That was nuts. He was so nice
classic
about it.
Yeah,
so
he
nice
was.
about
He
it.
was very courteous.
Holy crap.
The last time we saw him was face, and last time he was in WWE.
Yeah.
The last weekend of his recent WWE run. That was, wow. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's the money match. And that's where we're going from this point. Because seriously, Ciampa's got it. He's got to get the title back. Like there's certain runs for the championship that you can tell over a longer period of time. But I think him coming back as quickly as he did to try to keep as much of the crowd heat, and of course good heat, as he left with, like seriously, you don't put him in the title picture and not give him the strap.
Basically, like the video package that we got last night pretty much said it all in a very short amount of time. He was disgruntled at the fact that he had to give up the belt pretty much at the peak of his career. Because at that point, everything was going great. He was ready for the main roster. He was, like, I think he had the second longest run. Johnny Gargano has the second shortest run as NXT champion. I looked it up yesterday because I was like, so Finn Balor's got the longest reign as NXT champion. Who had the shortest reign? And
the answer is going to surprise you.
Yeah. Samoa Joe actually had a 2-week run at one point. It was his second reign, and he lost it in 14 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was Sami Zayn.
No, Sami Zayn actually held on to it for about 2 months before he lost it.
So, while you were saying a lot of what you were saying, I just had some scenarios run through my mind, and I just want to see, next week or the week after, I want to see Dominik Dijakovic and Keith Lee approach William Regal, and Dijakovic just say, we want a title match. And Regal be like, you guys both had your title match, and you both failed, and I'm not going to just hand you another title match. And then Keith Lee look at Regal and say, that's not what we're talking about. And then them just head off into Regal's office that you never get to see.
Yeah.
And that'd be the end of the segment.
That would be badass.
That would be really cool.
Because, right before Keith Lee would say that, you would see just this look between Dijakovic and Lee that says, yeah, I hate you too, but we hate them more.
Yep.
No doubt. That'd be really neat, yeah.
And it would stick it to him for the beatdown after the match.
Regal had that shit signed within 30 seconds.
Fuck yeah, dude.
They go back out to Morrow, Beth Phoenix, and Nigel.
Yeah, right. In 2 weeks' time, give you enough time to build up for it, or even at the next takeover, just whatever.
You would see Regal literally run from backstage up the podium. It's like, I've already made a match.
No, you wait till the next week and you have another Undisputed Era come out to the ring to say a bunch of bullshit, and then that's when Regal gets on there and he addresses them, and they think like we thought before that he's going to be addressing Roderick Strong about it, but instead he says versus you, and you're like, and Roderick's like, again, and he says, no, you two. And he says it's going to be a tag match versus Red Dragon. Oh man, I mean, it writes itself, so they probably won't do it. But I just think, I mean, like that's the way I'd want to see it go down.
I'm in full agreement.
Oh, that would be the way Regal would phrase it too. He's like, I've granted Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic another title match.
How do
and Roderick's like, how many times am I gonna beat these guys?
How do I apply for becoming a writer on NXT?
Oh, you same way you have to apply for WWE. You have to have like 8 years of writing experience. You have to have a degree in communications. You have to have worked at least on one soap opera or one other television program. You have to be willing to move up to Stamford, Connecticut, or Tampa, or Orlando, Florida, I believe, for that.
Got to go down to Florida.
Yep.
Get all the Florida mans.
Mm-hmm. You fit right in, Stefan.
Probably. Yeah, that would be, man, why not? Why not? Why not try?
That'd be fun. Like, basically, like, people are always like, man, you don't know how hard it is to produce a television show. It's like, let us try.
Yeah, let me find out how hard it is.
We do, you know, at least halfway. It's like, basically, we actually walk in with knowledge of the talent, at least.
See, instead, all I do is do it for free on YouTube, and I ruin all the good ideas because they're like, oh, now we can't use it because he said it.
Yep.
Because then it wouldn't be predictable, because all 150 of our viewers would be like, yeah, we saw that coming.
Yep.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
This is like the best I've seen NXT since we started watching it. So in a year.
I think what also is helping like a lot with this is the fact that you don't really get any potential spoilers or anything like that now because everything is filmed on the fly, like that on a live show versus like, okay, so this was about a month and a half ago. It's gonna be on the web all this whole time. Do you know how fucking difficult it was to keep our mouths shut about Wolf?
I know.
Like me and Colin literally knew the day the news broke.
Because of fucking Alexander Wolf posting it on Twitter.
Yes. And like so I was like,
a month and a half, 2 months.
All the while I got you on my shoulder. No spoilers, Jerry. You can't be telling me what's going on. I'm like, not going to. Then Hebert hit me up and he's like, Did you see? It's like, yeah. Did we move Alexander Wolf to NXT UK? It's like, yeah, we did. When did we do that? It's like, about 2 hours ago. Son of a bitch!
And then me and Jerry are making, like, notions to each other about certain things we said during videos, and we would just make eye contact during NXT UK videos or the Tea Party videos, and you'd have no idea. And then we'd side message afterwards, like, "Oh, dude, that was so hard to fucking say."
we were like,
oh man, yeah. Also, what I like is that when it was pre-taped and you do 2 or 3 hours at a time, you're not going to see the same people come out every hour.
Yeah.
Because it's a live crowd, they don't want to see that bullshit. So you'd go 2 or 3 weeks in between seeing certain superstars, and if you saw them 2 weeks in a row, you know it's going to be a while again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this like we've seen Cameron Grimes damn near every week. We've seen Matt Riddle damn near every week. You're actually getting some superstars that you're seeing often, and not just here and there.
The only one we really haven't seen a lot of since the breakout tournament has been Dexter Lumis.
I think they're saving something good for him.
I'm thinking they're going to put with the Boogs.
God, I hope so. I hope they put somebody with the Boogs. They need to get the Boogs back on TV.
The Boogs had one match with Drew Gulak, and that was it. And then Drew called out Matt Riddle.
So over. It might as well have been Cedric Alexander in the Cruiserweight tournament all over again.
Yeah.
The crowd just, they should have broken into sign this man.
Yeah. But because he came out for that encore, and even though it wasn't shown on TV, it got mad views.
And good heat from the crowd. Oh my god. And Kayla Braxton.
Yep.
Probably one of my favorite Kayla Braxton clips, other than the orange. No, that was the orange. What? No.
She was in her orange dress on that one.
Yep. So that's probably my favorite Kayla Braxton video. Oh. Yeah, NXT, man. Son of a bitch. Like I said, it's a better product weekly than Raw and SmackDown combined.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's live. In 2 hours, you really get to sink your teeth into it.
And then you're getting to include almost the entire 205 roster at this point too for cruiserweights.
Yeah, I mean you're bringing in sporadically little spritzes of NXT UK. Like you never know when Imperium's gonna show up. Fucking Pete Dunne is bringing Tyler Bate along with him. Like
he's probably helped them move because Pete Dunne's relocated to the US. So it's like man. If only I had a big, strong boy to help me move my couch into my new loft.
There's the obvious. I think that's what it is about the other half of your jokes. I see them coming before you drop them.
Yeah.
They're that obvious.
No,
I know Jerry's got this one.
We've been working together for about a year now on these shows.
Over a year.
Over a year now on these shows, so.
Speaking of 205 Live guys, I don't know if you guys caught clips of Monday Night Raw, but Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, I watched the show. I paid $45 for my Fubo for the month. I'm going to watch Raw and SmackDown. I'm thinking about stopping though. I'm thinking about just getting rid of the streaming.
Why did they turn him
altogether.
into a Power Ranger?
I don't know, but that match was great.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was so good. And now I understand why they made the move that they did.
Yeah.
Well, I was really questioning it when I saw him get drafted to Raw. I'm like, really? Out of everyone, him? Man.
Oh no, we have been about Carrillo since we first saw him.
Well, for the most part, that was because of his dynamic with Raul Mendoza.
Yeah.
But we did see. I think we saw one singles match. Maybe two with him on NXT.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, this guy is definitely
he's got
205. Ow. Fuck. Oh, that's the funny bone. Oh, where your whole body feels like you turned the TV to the wrong channel.
Buzz.
The way I used to watch wrestling pay-per-views back when I was a kid and we were too poor to afford two pay-per-views a month, let alone one pay-per-view a month. Shit. I think that's the other way around. You're supposed to say we can't afford one, let alone two. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. We were poor. I just turned it to 61 or 62 and I watched the scramble and listened to it. It was clearly audible.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't blur. They should have realized that and blurred the audio, but who knows?
It was like listening to Wrestle Radio.
Yeah, I used to do that like a couple of years ago when the network first came out on the phones. I used to have a cable that I'd be able to hook from my phone to the TV, and for some reason it wouldn't transfer anything from the WWE network. So one night we're playing ping pong at my buddy's house, and I just plugged my phone into a thing of computer speakers. We turned the fucking music up, or sound up, and we listened to it like you would a ball game driving in a car. We listened to the entire TLC 2014.
Cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a whole, like, I've never done that before, and it was really, really neat. Like, go back and watch it later when you want to, but at the time when you don't have the option to watch it.
Well, from what I gather lately, Raw and SmackDown have been an eyesore anyway, so you might as well just listen to it.
Well, anyway, I'm thinking about giving it up. I went to cancel Fubo, and they gave me the option of extending for 1 month at $20, which is less than half the price. Mm. And I'm like, okay, first of all, let's give Raw and SmackDown 1 more month. to get me interested. And second of all, let's give Fubo one more chance to record NXT because I told it to record the series and not because I have to go in and individually set every episode.
I'm thinking something got reset. Oh, I was going to say something got reset, but they showed that you're already set for the 30th.
That's how my Hulu has been with SmackDown lately, because I work Friday nights now. I work Friday nights, so it was nice when I was off on Tuesdays. I could watch SmackDown, live, but I don't get home until maybe anywhere between a half hour and 15 minutes left.
But oddly enough, this Daily Motion video we watched was
perfect.
It was perfect. It was like watching on the WWE Network, even without commercials. So,
and if they can do that every week, then there's no reason for me to have cable. Because literally, I pay $45 a month just to watch Raw, SmackDown, and now NXT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have Hulu Live. It's like $50 a month, and I think I use maybe 4 networks: USA, Fox, NBC, and True TV, because Impractical Jokers is on all the time. That show's hilarious.
Well, I don't even watch any of those. Like, if I want to watch something that's not wrestling, I just basically go to Netflix, or I've got tons of TV on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need new television. Like, it's like new music. It's like I've listened to the same bands that I have since, let's say, 2003 to 2008.
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way, dude. Getting into new music, I can't do it, but I have a few series that I've grown to love. They're in like season 8, season 7 now. So,
well, I just can't watch or listen to the radio, so I can't get into new bands because fuck commercials. What's the point of that when all my music fits on one thumb drive and I can just plug it into my stereo?
I don't know. I got Sirius XM radio, so it's nice.
Yeah, but again, you have to pay for that.
I listen to a lot of Spotify.
I came with my car for 3 months.
I do pay for Spotify. I do, but my stereo in my truck is not Bluetooth compatible, so my Spotify really doesn't do me any good in the truck.
And aux cord?
It's scrambly and it's real staticky. It's not worth having. I got to crank the volume to ridiculous so that when I change it to something else and I don't remember, it's just blaring. And I've got JL Audio speakers and a JL Audio sub in a short cab, very small space, and cranking it at 50 because I forgot anything off of that thumbstick. Holy crap, blow your ears out.
Yeah. The only reason I have Sirius is because it came free with my car for 3 months, and then they sent me an offer. If you sign up, we'll sign up for 6 months. We'll give it to you. So I got it for $30, and then they sent me a $50 Amazon Echo Dot for free. So I'm like, pay $30 for 6 months, and then get a free $50 device. Screw it.
What are you gonna do when the 6 months is up?
I'm just gonna cancel it. It's up December. It's up. I already have a reminder on my phone to cancel it and stuff because it'll automatically renew.
So yeah, I only ever subscribed to a cable streaming service for wrestling, and now it just doesn't seem worth the money.
Really not.
No.
Really not.
I feel like I could just go with everybody else and watch the YouTube clips. Because that's free. Well, actually, I do pay for premium YouTube, so I don't have to, again, watch commercials. Fuck commercials.
I do too. Okay, that and then Apple Music too. So.
Well, YouTube Premium comes with YouTube Music, and honestly, that's good enough. I need to stop paying for Spotify. Pay for too many services because they seem cheap until you add them all up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Man.
Fubo's got to go after the $20 trial.
For premium, $11 a month for Apple. Yeah. Just need to do that or get a family plan on shit. Make it cheaper.
Yep. Is that the final thought for the video?
Sometimes I thought about it. If I didn't watch wrestling the way I did, I wouldn't have the streaming services that I do because I have other ways. I'm tech savvy enough to find other ways to watch the things that I want to.
Yeah, I used to do it that way, but because I can never watch it live anyway. But then there's some days where I can watch it live. Like now on Fridays, I can watch SmackDown live. For some reason, since it's gone live, I still haven't sat down and watched it live. I've always done it hours after the fact, and I just watch it on demand.
You've just gotten used to having that delayed disappointment.
Yeah, and fast forwarding because I've gotten commercials down to a science. WWE commercials are 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Get this. On TNT, AEW commercials are only like 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I think there's fewer of them too. Like, it's ridiculous.
They're putting more of their money into it and putting less ads.
Which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And most of their commercials, even when it's not necessary, have the picture-in-picture. Like, there'll be stuff going on that doesn't need to be on television, but it'll still be in the picture-in-picture. It's ridiculous. But still, I don't know if it's a better product than NXT. A lot of people are saying so, but I think it's just because it's new and different.
Yeah, it's new. It's it's the new burger on the block. You know what I mean? It'll get old here soon.
Like, it's good. I like it.
It's the same.
But I also don't find myself paying as much attention to the matches as I do with, of course, when I watch NXT, I need to take notes and shit. But even still, there are matches like Angel Garza versus Jack Gallagher where I got up and went and fucking was fixing the burritos, and I missed most of the match. But I listened to it, so it really wasn't like, I told Jerry, I was like, if there's anything really cool, let me know. I'll back it up. Otherwise, I got to put cheese on these burritos. But
yeah, I mean, it's. I said something in our group chat yesterday. We might get some heat, but I said AEW. Honestly, if they didn't have Jericho in the position that Jericho's in right now, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. Because if you look at pretty much every main segment for the last 4 weeks, been Jericho. Jericho's been the highlight of that show every week. Jericho's faction, etc. It's all stemmed around Jericho. Yes, Cody is there, Dustin is there, but it's all stemming from Chris Jericho.
I think, though, without Jericho, they would still have Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley would be in a different position.
Jon Moxley came back from an injury and kind of cooled off a little bit because he came in there just all sorts of crazy. Then he was gone from television again.
Well, the problem with Jon Moxley from the rip, I think, is that they introduced him at the wrong time. They should have introduced him on the first episode of the live weekly show.
Yeah.
The first episode of Dynamite. Speaking of Dynamite and the name Dynamite, okay, so notice that SmackDown has got a new theme song, but it's not anything new at all.
No.
It's old AC/DC. Why do you think they would do that? Why do you think they would use AC/DC as their new theme song? I'm like, it hit me right before I watched the first episode of AEW Dynamite. When it came on, somehow in my head I was expecting to hear the music.
TNT.
Yes, by AC/DC. Because not only does it have the name of the program, Dynamite, but it's got the name of the channel, TNT. It just makes sense. And they didn't use it. But it would seem like we can't use it now.
Yeah.
We can't use it now because now we're the other show using AC/DC. But I think that's. But then again, maybe they didn't.
Blocked by WWE.
Maybe they didn't want to use it in the first place because it seems like they got a song written for them, and that seems like the best option, honestly.
Well, that would have been, I guess, just as appropriate. Have Fozzy show up and do a cover of TNT or TNT by AC/DC.
That probably would have been a better use of sarcasm. Anyway. Yeah, I feel like that's the only reason they picked that song for the opening to SmackDown, or for the theme to SmackDown, is because they wanted to cockblock AEW from using AC/DC. Because then AC/DC would be like, well, we can't let you use our song because the bigger, more powerful brand is already using our song. And sorry, guys.
Yep.
Maybe that is what I don't know, man. I just think it's real weird. And real coincidental, maybe.
It is very neener moment by Vince McMahon.
I can afford AC/DC and you can't.
No, just him thinking 5 steps ahead. Even at the most minuscule of things that just kind of would bother them, or kind of like a mosquito bite kind of thing, where it's like, okay, that.
But I mean, honestly, what better song for that show is there? I don't think there is one.
No.
No, not really. Since you really brought it up, I never really even thought about it. But
it does. It makes plenty of sense. That's how tired I am. It makes plenty of sense.
Yeah.
Dynamite. TNT. Watch me explode! Yeah, and that's where they end with the pyro and the boo 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 in it. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nuts.
But SmackDown had to have one of the more obscure AC/DC songs.
Yep.
Whatever. But yeah.
Maybe something.
You know how quickly WWE chooses, like, flips their music, so it's like Vince will be like, why did we have AC/DC again? And then all of a sudden, like, the TNT starts up on AEW, like, son of a bitch, that's right.
Yeah, I wonder how long they'll keep it. Just long enough for the neener to wear off. All right, well, I'm going to collect the garbage and shut off the camera.
I gotta wrap it up too. I gotta get some things done.
Wrap it up, B.
We did sort of do a show here, so thank you for joining us. For the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. For the gentleman, Jerry Slaughter. I am the Wizard of No DQ, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.